guys, it's Gina from Orchid and Opal Jewelry and Beads, and today I'm excited to show you a tutorial that I'm calling the Criss-Cross Cab Bracelet. And I was inspired by the August 2018 bead crate. If you remember, maybe you had seen my unboxing video, they sent a theme of black and white and clear beads, and two of the beads that I received are these gorgeous Czech glass sunflowers, the black and white sunflowers, and they also had sent a bag of 7mm 2-hole black Cabochon beads, and they were the matte. They're the ones that you see right here. So I wanted to challenge myself to come up with a design using those two items. And I was just thinking, you know, if somebody else out there had also received that bead crate and you were maybe looking for a project for those sunflowers, this could be something you could make with what you received. If not, these beads are available online. I mean, there's all kinds of online bead retailers. If you just Google Czech glass sunflower beads, I found a bunch of them at goldenagebeads.com, and I got more Cabochon beads at eurekacrystalbeads.com, but you're certainly welcome to get them from anywhere that you can find them if you're interested. And you can use different 2-hole beads for this tutorial as well. They don't even have to be the Cabochons. They could be other 2-hole beads that you want to experiment with. So maybe you have some in your stash that this design will work for. And it's a really easy and quick project. It's great for beginners, especially those who are new to bead weaving. Maybe you're a little intimidated by it. This should help you get a project under your belt where you're using some 2-hole beads that maybe you haven't used before that isn't very difficult. So let's get started. To make this bracelet exactly as shown, you will need the following: 6 Czech glass 2-hole sunflower beads, 9 Czech glass 7mm 2-hole Cabochon beads, 2 Czech glass 2-hole 6mm tile beads, 2 colors of seed beads, wire guardians, jump rings, a clasp, 5 feet of Fireline or your choice of beading thread, a beading needle, and finally jewelry pliers and scissors. And I just want to mention that you do see these 2-hole tile beads right here, and you'll see on this bracelet I did use some 2-hole Rulla beads. They're rectangles, but you don't have to do that. If you have more than 6 sunflowers, you can just continue the pattern and use simply cabochons and sunflowers or any variation of 2-hole beads that you would like with this pattern. It just so happened that Bead Crate had sent me 6 sunflowers, so I had to adapt and come up with a way to extend the bracelet a little bit longer. I also want to mention this is for about a 7-inch wrist, and I have about a 7-inch wrist, and this gives me extra room to play, so it's probably a safe bet that this is going to come out to be about 7.5 inches if you follow it exactly like I'm doing it here. So you'll also see there's 2 different colors of seed beads. One of the colors is going to be your main color, and that is the one that is going to create the main X pattern. And then your secondary color is going to be the one that you're going to pop right in here that'll sit right on the top of your cabochon. And also, if you want, you'll use it on the back to put in between as a little tiny spacer in between these beads. So you can decide which seed beads you want to make your primary color that will be sitting over the cab and which you want to be a little accent. I also recommend using these great products called wire guardians. They will protect your thread on the ends of your bracelet. I use them in a variety of different projects, and they really give an extra stability to your pieces because you're not going to be pulling against your beading thread or string or wire, whatever you decide to use in any given project, but instead the clasp and jump rings, etc., will pull against the metal. So it really does reinforce your jewelry. And I do have product links to everything that I'm using, not necessarily which items specifically I purchased, but great examples of items just like these that you can purchase on Amazon in my information section below. So if you're curious about anything that I'm using today, go check that out and see, and you'll know exactly the types of things that I recommend for making projects like this. So once you have your beading thread on your needle, the first step is to string on 3 seed beads, and it doesn't matter what color necessarily. These are going to be the 3 beads that are at the end of your bracelet right before your wire guardian. So maybe decide, do you want those to be your main color or your secondary color? It's up to you. So for this, I am going to be picking up, let's see, I'm going to do my little brownish or antique bronze looking color that kind of blends in with the color of this wire guardian. So I'm picking up 3 of those, and then I'm stringing on my wire guardian just like that. And I'm just pulling this down, excuse me, till I have about 6 inches of thread on my other end. And then I take these little clips. I got like a 6-pack at the Dollar Tree. You could probably find them at lots of different places. They make special, can't think of the word, items to hold the other end of your beading thread while you're doing bead weaving. And the name escaped me right now, but I just don't see the point in spending the money on that personally. So I just got my little clippy, and it really holds the string in well. So I like that a lot. Now once you have your 3 strung, your 3 seed beads, and you've gone through one end of your wire guardian, then you'll want to come through the other end of your wire guardian. So if I can get it to focus, you'll want to be coming out the other end. There we go. And you're going to string on 3 more of the same color seed beads. So I put on 3 more seed beads. I'm going to string them down, and then we're going to be stringing on all of these main beads with 1 seed bead in between each as we go. And because these beads have 2 holes, and it does matter what side you're stringing on, you want to pay attention that when you first pass through your row of beads, hopefully you have them all laid out nicely like you want to string them. Just make sure that you go through either the right side or the left side of all of those first, and then we're going to be coming back around, looping back around and doing the other side, and that will just keep all these beads in the right direction, and you'll be going through the correct holes. As you can see, these sunflower beads do not have a back on them. They're not pressed like that on the back, so it does matter. And then of course with your cabs, one side of those is flat and the other side is rounded, so you just want to keep that in mind when you're stringing. So I'm going to go through, and you can see we've got our end here with our wire guardian and our seed bead started. I'm just going to go through the right side of all my beads for the first pass. So you can see I'm just going through this hole here, and then I'm going to be stringing on, like I said, 1 seed bead in between each of those. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this antique bronze color in between each of those. I'm going to have the black seed beads going over my black cabochons, I believe. Okay, so just stringing through the right side of all the beads, and then a seed bead in between. So just do that all the way down. And then of course, if you are making your bracelet larger or smaller, you'll just want to adjust the amount of beads that you're using accordingly. You might want to add an extra sunflower or an extra couple of cabs if you're trying to make it bigger, and if you need it smaller than for a 7-inch wrist, then you'll obviously just take some of the beads off of either side, and that will adjust your size. So I'm going to speed this up as we string all the way down this one side, and then I'll slow it back down after I have them all strung, and we'll go back around the other side. Okay, so as you can see, all the beads are strung together on the one side along the same side, and we need to finish the other end with a wire guardian to match this side. So once you get to your very last bead on this side and you're coming out one of the holes, go ahead and add 3 more of the same color seed bead you had on this side, as well as string through one of the openings on your wire guardian, and then pull it down and then go around through the other side of your wire guardian, like that. And just make sure your thread nestles right in that little loop. Just getting these all laid out. Okay, so like I said, make sure your thread nestles into the loop of the wire guardian so it's not hanging down here or anything like that. And once you're happy with that, you'll string on 3 more seed beads of that same color. And then you're going to go through the beads on the other side just like you did before, where you'll go through the other hole and you'll string on a seed bead in between each of these beads. And they'll flip around on you, it's okay, just keep playing with it. As long as you're going through the correct holes, you're fine. And if you went through the correct ones on the way going this way, then you'll be fine going this way. So as you can see, I got it started. I'm just going to continue that all the way down to this end, and I'm going to speed it up once again. Okay, so we have all of our beads strung on, and you can see that we're coming out of this hole of this cabochon bead, and we have our other wire guardian on this end with our 3 beads. Now what we're going to do is we're going to join these 2 pieces together, and you can leave your clip, or if you decided to use like a stop bead on this end, you can leave that for now. I just took mine off. I'm going to be careful and just let it free hang because it's going to get in my way. But you're going to be going up through those 3 seed beads and through that first hole that you get to of your wire guardian, and pull it together like so. Now what I like to do is I like to get rid of this tail because I just don't want it in the way. So I either pop the needle off of this end and put it over here so I can go ahead and tie that off and weave it in, or I just pop on another needle, which is what I'm going to do right now so I don't have to take off the other needle. Okay, so I strung my other tail thread with the needle, and I am ready to tie this off. So holding the working thread with this hand, I'm just going to make a little loop right here before the 3 seed beads, and then go through that loop. And I have everything pulled kind of nice and taut so that there aren't any like big gaping gaps where my bracelet is. Now you will notice it probably will get a little loose like that when you're tying it off. It's no big deal. As you go back through the bracelet to add more beads, it's going to tighten up. So don't worry if you have a little bit of space like that. It's not going to be a big deal. So I'm just going through a couple of my beads down through the thread path, making at least 3 knots as I go. So I made a knot, I went through a couple beads, I'm making another knot here, and then going through a couple more beads. And this just secures our bracelet and it hides our knots. Just like that. And then for the remainder of the thread, I'm just going to go through as many beads on this side as I can with the thread and needle that I have. Alright. So ending it there, and I'm just going to snip off carefully the rest of that tail thread. Now we don't have to worry about that being in the way. So like I said, you can do that at this point or you can wait. It's up to you. I do also like to do it because it kind of keeps everything tight as we do the rest of the bracelet, so we don't have to worry about the tension as much if it's already tied off. So I just flip my bracelet around. I like working this way because I'm right-handed, And we are coming out of this side of our wire guardian, and we're going to just go through the other side and go through those 3 seed beads and through the cabochon, and I'm going through my next tile bead because I'm just going to leave those without the extra embellishment of the seed beads. That's just personal preference. It doesn't really matter if you want to do the little X pattern on that or not. You can see on this one I just left these alone on the side. I kind of liked how it looked with it kind of gradually building up in the center of the bracelet, but again, it doesn't matter. It's up to you and what you want to do. So I'm coming out of this seed bead right here, and I'm at my second cabochon of this bracelet, and I'm ready to start my crisscross design. And once again, we're going to be going down the bracelet, coming back around and going around this way one more time. So we're going to be completing half of the crisscrosses this pass, and then half, or the rest of the crisscrosses, the other half, and you'll see what I mean. So I want my main color to be picked up first, which is going to be the black over the cabochon bead. So I'm picking up 3 of those, then I'm picking up 1 of my accent color, and then 3 of the main color. So you should have something like this on your needle, 3, 1, 3. If you're coming out from this seed bead here, you're going to be making a crisscross over the cabochon, so you want to go diagonally to the other seed bead that is resting on the side diagonal of that. So go through that one, and then go all the way through till you get to the seed bead on this side. And when you pull that, you'll see you started 1/2 of your crisscross on that cabochon. Okay, so coming out of this seed bead right here, you want to repeat that pattern. So once again, you're going to pick up 3 seed beads of your main color, 1 of your accent color, and 3 more of your main color. So with that, you're also going to go diagonally across your cabochon and go through the seed bead that is directly diagonal of the bead that you're coming out of. So you go through that seed bead, through the sunflower bead, and through the following seed bead. And pull it tight, and you'll see this pattern that's starting to form. So you have a crisscross pattern starting to form, and when you come back around, we're going to be completing these. So if you're looking like that, you're off to a good start. So another 3 of our main color, and an accent color, and then 3 of the main color, and just doing the exact same thing we did before, going to the opposite side to that seed bead, through the sunflower, and then through the next seed bead. So once again, I'm going to speed this up till we get to this side, and then we'll work our way back around to the other side. Okay, so we're crisscrossing our very last cabochon that we're going to be going over on this side. So I'm just going through the seed bead, and then I'm just going to go through that tile bead, through the next seed bead, through the final cabochon bead, and work our way around. So through those 3 seed beads as well, through the wire guardian, and I'm just going to flip my work over so I can work back this way again. So coming out of this part of the wire guardian, we're going to go through the other side and through the next 3 seed beads, through the cab, through the next seed bead, and then finally we want to come out right here where our crisscross is going to start again. So that's where you want to come out, and we're going to continue to work to finish our crisscross pattern over those cabochon beads. So just carefully, like I said before, make sure your thread is sitting right in that little area here of your wire guardian. And we're going to finish our crisscross. So we have one complete crisscross. Is it a criss or a cross? I don't really know. But anyway, we have one complete line going across our cabochon bead, and we need to finish the X. So coming out of this seed bead right here at the bottom, you want to pick up just 3 this time of your main color, and then go up through that middle seed bead in that accent color and pull. So you'll have this right here where you put on your 3 seed beads and you're coming right out of the middle. You're going to put on 3 more of your main color seed bead and then go through this seed bead here, and you're going to go through this sunflower, through the next seed bead, and then we'll pick up again. So coming out of the middle seed bead, pick up 3 more of your main color, go through the seed bead right next to your sunflower, and then through the seed bead also on the other side. And you can see that completed one of our X's. So that one's done. Now we're coming out of this bead. We want to pick up 3 more of our main color. This time going down through the middle accent seed bead. Like that. And then we're going to pick up 3 more of our main color and then finish that X. And we're going to go through this seed bead here that's next to this next sunflower, go through the sunflower, and then through the seed bead on the other side. So we're just completing our X design. So I'm just going to speed this up till we get to this end, and then we'll finish off by knotting and tying off our bracelet. Okay guys, so you have your bracelet all done now if you finished your X's, and you can come out of this last cabochon. This is the point where I like to make my first little knot, so I'm going to show you how you can complete this bracelet. And if you're familiar with how to complete jewelry like this, and you don't have to continue watching, but if you'd like to see how I do it, feel free. So I'm just coming out of this cabochon. I'm going behind the thread that's coming out right there in between the cabochon and the first seed bead, and I'm making a little loop, and then I'm going to take my needle and swing back through the loop and pull it tight so that it lands right in there between the cabochon and the seed bead. Then I'm going to go through those seed beads and the wire guardian again, and the more you go through your bead weaving projects like this, especially at the ends of the projects where you get the most pulling, the stronger your piece will be. So it really doesn't hurt it to make even more knots or passes through than you would even expect to really need to. So here again, I'm making another knot right in between the other side of the cabochon and the seed bead. And you can really make these knots wherever you want. I just have places that I like to make them because they're a little more comfortable or easier. And then I go through a couple more beads. And then I'm going to make another knot like right here. I'm going to go through a couple more beads. And then I'm going to make another knot right here. And then, you guessed it, through a couple more beads. Actually, I'm just going to go through a bunch more beads because I already made 3 knots. So I'm just going to, since I have a little extra thread, just go down further. You can decide if you want to make another knot or what you want to do. It's a tiny bit loose right there, just a little, so I'm going to make another knot right at that point. It just brings everything together. So I'm just going to continue on And again, this is mainly because I have extra thread. And it doesn't hurt to just give it a little extra reinforcement. This Fireline is great though. This is my favorite beading thread. Sometimes I do get asked what beading thread is my favorite, and I always use Fireline now. And you can find it on Amazon. I actually get the 300 yard rolls now. And you actually can find it in the like the fishing supply section. So it may not even say beading on it, but trust me, if you're getting the 6-pound Fireline and you know what color you want, the smoke is the one I'm using. It's the darker color. And then I also use the crystal if I'm going with lighter colors. It is the same thing as far as I know. So I actually got the 300 yards since I use it so much. And Fireline's not cheap, but it's worth every penny. And you really don't have the breakage and have to worry so much when you're spending all this time making these pieces. You really don't want them to fall apart. So that's just a suggestion if you're interested. That product is in the information section, as well as I put in the link to the 300 yard, which some people have asked me how I found that. So that link is in there in case you're interested. So I went through all of my beads and have it nicely knotted and tied off, and I'm just coming right out of there. I'm going to clip this like that, and we are done with our bracelet. And of course at this point I don't have to show you, you can just attach any type of clasp you like. On my bracelets, all I did was attach a simple jump ring and a lobster claw clasp. So that's on one end. And then on the other, I just attached another jump ring, and those you open up easily with the jewelry pliers, as you know. So I'm really happy with it. Again, it's a nice, easy project, especially if you're newer to two-hole beads and you're looking for something to put together that is not too challenging or intimidating. So I hope it was pretty easy and straightforward and easy to follow. Please feel free to leave me any comments or questions you'd like below, and I hope to see you soon on my next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you'd like to see more of my videos, and check out the video description section to follow along on all of my social media handles, visit my Etsy shop, and check out my new website and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching!